Hey, what's up guys? So this is going to be a long video, I think. Please watch this video in its entirety. If you need to speed this video up, put it on 1.5 or 2 times speed because I'm going to drop a lot of valuable content in this video. And I know longer videos usually go overlooked, but the longer videos that I do normally have stuff of substance, so you want to pay attention to this video. And before this video starts, if you're still interested, or if you ever were interested in joining Self Mastery Camp, that's been going really well. In addition to the Facebook group, we've also created a text group, so a WhatsApp text group. So I'm texting on a regular basis in that group. If you're interested, I'll leave a link to that in the description below. So I'm a little late on the new year, new decade videos. I did want to do it a little sooner. I just got tied up with some holiday stuff. I really wanted to talk about what can happen for you in a decade, and more importantly, how you can change your life in a decade. This is probably the most important video, like I said, that I'm ever gonna do on this channel, so please listen up. I like to use my life as an illustration as to what's possible for most people, because I came from a place 10 years ago where I was literally riddled with disbelief in myself. I don't wanna go into full detail now, but I did a video explaining why my mentality or my mindset was so limited. I truly did not believe that I was capable of doing anything in life. I was also like addicted to pornography. I was addicted to masturbation. I had no drive, no purpose, no willpower to do anything. I was just pretty much coasting at below average for quite a few years. The life that I'm living now, I did not think was possible for me to be living 10 years ago. So what changed? How did I get to this point? Well, snapshot of 10 years ago, I roughly had just moved to Los Angeles at the time. I had $20 to my name in the form of a gift card. It was a Target gift card that some members of the gym that I worked at kind of just came together and gave me, like, I think 50 bucks. And so I used most of it. By the time I got to LA, there was 20 bucks left on there. I was working at a 24-hour fitness as a front desk clerk, as well as working at Abercrombie and I can't say it anymore, Abercrombie and Fitch, just doing, basic retail stuff. So that was where I was at 10 years ago. Let's jump, to now. I'm 32 years old now. Not to brag, but I've had some of the most successful years financially that I've ever had and continue to do so. So I think I topped out at 200K for a single year. Yeah, I didn't think that any of that was possible for me, but yet here I am living it. So what changed? The first thing I want to address is making decisions. Now, I know you've heard people talk about this before, and the fact that I'm telling you again means something. Make decisions. Now, I don't mean make decisions like, oh, what do I want to eat today? I mean make tough and make uncomfortable decisions. So the first decision that I ever made that was probably the most uncomfortable, that would put me far beyond my comfort zone, was moving to Los Angeles. That was like 6 hours from home, and literally I had no plan. I just knew that I needed to get out of where I was. So I made that decision, and again, had zero money, had zero purpose, zero map as to where I was going. I just moved to Los Angeles. So the next big decision that I'd made after making the decision to move to Los Angeles would have been like 1.5 years to 2 years later, after I'd become a manager at 24-Hour Fitness. So I ended up quitting that job. Now that was a pretty big deal, because I quit from a job that was paying me relatively well to going to work at a Skechers shoe store. Now that's, a pretty massive cut in pay. It's a cut in like your ego, like I'm a manager, now I'm working at a Skechers shoe store. So that was uncomfortable, but it was necessary. Most people probably wouldn't do something like that, but you have to realize you only get places in life when you make tough and uncomfortable decisions that will push you outside of your comfort zone. For some reason, people are so afraid to lose their sense of comfort in life, and it's handicapping people. You don't make decisions, nothing changes. People, you gotta understand, outside of the realm of comfort is where the infinite possibilities exist. You're not gonna find it in the comfort zone. You have to step outside of the boundaries of yourself in order to achieve those higher levels of success. So make big decisions. Other types of decisions we're talking about here, are breaking up with people. Yeah, it sucks. Most people will rather stay in a relationship that they're kind of on the fence about than make the decision to get out of it. If I were to have stayed with my original girlfriend and I had been the one to end it, if I were to have stayed with her, my life would be something completely different. I'd probably be stuck in the town that I was in before I moved to Los Angeles. I would become a product of her who, no offense to her, she just wasn't a motivated person. She had no aspirations. And 10 years later, I can now see that I made the right choice. You know, making decisions like that, that's what I'm talking about. The things that will really push you outside of what is comfortable for you. And another massive type of decision that people should make is moving. Like, move outside of where you're living. Most people will stay where they have been their entire life without ever moving around. And it's like, that's fine if you're okay with that. But again, all the opportunity, all the crazy possibilities exist outside of your realm of comfort. So make massive decisions. The next thing that I want to talk about is a term that I coined called the default life. Avoid the default life. The default life is essentially what it sounds like. Your life is nothing more than the result of a bunch of default circumstances that have happened to you. You have very little say in the matter. You have very little choice making. You make zero choices, essentially. You just live your life circumstance to circumstance. It's the opposite of making decisions. And the default life is what a lot of people fall victim to. They don't realize that they have a choice. They don't realize that there's more for them out there. They just see the world as a place where whatever happens to them has to be it. Like, that is all that I am capable of doing. And that's where I was 10 plus years ago, where I only took whatever came to me without making decisions to get myself out of them. And the last thing I want to talk about is embracing the unknown. Now, I did talk about it a little bit earlier in this video, and I've definitely talked about it at some point on my YouTube channel, but embrace the unknown. Not just look at it, not just observe it, not just acknowledge its existence. I mean, embrace the unknown. Now, this is a sensitive subject for a lot of people simply because by nature, we are wired to feel and want and desire comfort. We want to feel comfortable and we want to feel safe. The unknown is the opposite of that. The unknown is the unknown. And so as a result, most people just stick to what they know. They fail to venture out into the unknown world, which out there exists literally infinite possibilities. You got to understand, the world that you know, and I mean this in a subjective sense, the world that you know is the world that you know. Do you experience like making millions of dollars? Do you experience making six figures? Do you experience the happiness and all the other shit that you want in life? If you don't, then that means that you're not going to achieve it in the realm of the known. It means that it's out there beyond your comfort zone. It's simple math. You step outside your comfort zone, that's where all of the things that you want exist. They don't exist in the world that you know if you're not experiencing it right now. You have to ask yourself, what is the worst thing that can happen to you? Truly, like, what's the worst thing that can happen to you if you happen to quit your job? Or if you happen to end your relationship? Like, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen to you? Nothing. Like, nothing so bad will happen to you that you're gonna end up dead, right? So why not? Why not step outside of what you know? You got to understand that whenever you're thinking about stepping outside the comfort zone or stepping into the unknown, your mind is going to project images of fearful situations, of disastrous outcomes, simply because your mind is wired to keep you safe. It's wired to keep you comfortable. It doesn't want to experience discomfort. It wants to feel good all the time. So you have to know that that's what's going to happen and learn to ignore all of those things that your mind is showing you. Just think, over 10 years ago, I moved out of my parents' house with $20 on a gift card to my name. Now, can you imagine the images that my mind showed me that said, don't do that, like that's a terrible idea? Oh, you bet they were wild. But I didn't listen because I knew deep down somewhere inside of me that those are just illusions. Those are just projections of my mind trying to keep me safe and keep me in my comfort zone in Fairfield, California. That's where I was raised. No, I had to push through all that shit. I had to like say, no, that's not what can happen. And I'm so thankful that I made those choices. I'm so thankful that I took that initial step outside of my comfort zone because it's done nothing but opened me up to so many opportunities that literally did not exist where I was living. That's all I've got for you guys. I hope some of you, if not all of you, I'm being hopeful, take this message and act upon it. Look at your life, look at your circumstances, ask yourself, what don't I like right now? And then, what do I need to do to change it? And don't just observe those thoughts, take action on them. Move out of your comfort zone. It is literally the only way you're going to get out of the world that you know. The unknown, I know it's scary. I know people have different situations. You know, I've got people with friends with kids, for example, that are like, well, I shouldn't quit my job because I have a kid. You know, obviously there are certain things that you have to consider, but ask yourself, am I willing to sacrifice all of the things that could be for me for my current life circumstances? For someone like me, the answer was no, and it will continue to be no. That's it. That's all I got. I hope this video helps. I hope it inspires you. I hope it pushes you. I hope it motivates you just to f***ing do it. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Peace.